after the sixth bell. It was raining. The sixth bell had rung an hour ago. Emmy stood in the empty hallway, wet shoes squeaking on the tile. Overhead, the fluorescent light flickered once, then steadied. At the far end, a figure stood by the lockers. She couldn't see his face. She took a deep breath and stepped forward. The papers on the bulletin board rustled. The clock at the end of the hall ticked once. Emmy came back. She opened the door slowly. Warm light spilled out onto the wet floor. The music room was empty again. The desk still said, Haruki Ono, Class 2B, on it. A yearbook, a framed photo, and a metronome that hadn't moved in months. Curtains swayed. A faint echo of a piano note seemed to linger, even though no one was playing. But the words, they would remain. Emmy turned to the very last page of the old yearbook. There were no more photos, no more names, just a blank page. She traced her fingers over the smooth paper. The words echoed in her mind one last time. He stayed after the sixth bell, and he never left. Outside, rain streaked the window. Street lights rippled on the pavement. The desk lamp glowed steadily. Emmy closed the yearbook gently. The next day, Emmy couldn't stop thinking about the name, Haruki Ono. She searched the library archives, old newspapers, anything with his name on it. Most records from that year were incomplete, as if someone had quietly removed them. But in a box of old school newsletters, she found a single photograph, a boy at piano, mid-song, eyes closed. The caption underneath was short, talented, kind, always the last to leave. She found an old teacher, retired now, who remembered him. He told her that Haruki used to stay behind every evening to practice, long after the sixth bell. One rainy night, he didn't come home. The search lasted for weeks. They never found where he'd gone. Only his sheet music, left open on the piano, and a chalkboard message no one had the heart to erase. Music is what stays. Emmy returned to the music room one last time. She sat down at the old piano and played the notes from his sheet music, slowly, carefully, like she was afraid of waking something. When she finished, the room felt lighter. She placed a single note beside the yearbook. Thank you, Haruki Ono. Outside, the rain was finally beginning to clear. That night, Emmy dreamed of the hallway again, but this time it wasn't empty. The figure by the lockers turned to face her, and for the first time, she saw him clearly. A boy, maybe 16, smiling like someone who had been waiting a very long time to be seen. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. The sixth bell rang once, softly, and the dream dissolved into gray morning light. Weeks passed. Emmy kept a small routine. Every evening, after class, she would stop by the music room, just for a few minutes. She dusted the desk, she wound the metronome, and let it tick a little, before it fell still again. The other students started calling it Emmy's room. She never corrected them. Some stories don't end. They just wait for someone to listen. And Emmy knew she would keep coming back, after the sixth bell, again and again, for as long as the room remembered him. To be continued.